it's a very personal and touchy subject for myself because I'm very sensitive to, feedback and please as many people as possible and trying not to be a people pleaser. But, certainly when someone comments something or has a completely different view, there's only so much fight you can stand for each individual battle, I guess, and still try and win the war. And so, if you're getting bogged down in the weeds on Twitter, that's not a spot where you need to be, I don't think. And so I've personally gotten off of social media for a while, really try and avoid Facebook like the plague, but I do have, Twitter. I try and limit the usage there. I try and limit how much time I'm spending there. Don't spend a lot of time being a thought leader on that or anything, but try and use it as a tool to repurpose, articles or things that I'm seeing and try and share that. But so the interesting timing and topic for me is this cancel culture, which is extremely unhealthy. And I think it seems like there's a tide turning where there's people that have a voice now that had been muted, and the muting is very successfully done because these systems have been put in place. And so if you're not speaking the language of the leaders of these systems, then you're going to get muted, or you're not going to get a platform as nearly as visible or as loud as some of these other people. And so this is really the first conversation I've had on the internet, live streaming to YouTube, where I'm sharing my thoughts freely around something that is kind of political. And I've written a lot about this stuff. I've got a blog and this and that, but I think I've purposely avoided this because there's always going to be someone saying, oh, you're wrong, or this is right, and here's why I think you're an asshole, whatever that is. I think for me, I've avoided the online conversations, but at this point, it's just, I'm ready to put that out there in the world, and whether or not I read the comments or not, we'll see. I don't know. I'd rather have the dialogues with you and really be open to your feedback one-to-one than have a lot of back and forth as far as analyzing every little point, whether I said this right or that. Do you have a lot of experience with online forums? Do you read a lot of comments? Do you comment on other people's talks, or how does that engagement look on your end?
I avoid doing things that are my own eruptions on other people's YouTube videos. I do comment from time to time, but it would be hopefully sharing something that is simple enough and non-controversial enough to lead people in a right direction. I may disagree with something, but I'm going to do it in a way that's not too long a diatribe. And I will also put my website down there, and and ask people to share their respectful comments based on what I said. So I don't go into rants on a comment section on a video or a blog, but I've written enough in my books that are hard hitting, that are well thought out and highly edited paragraphs and pages, that I think I've done what you're talking about in an artful, what am I trying to say? In the most artful way I could do it was in my books. And when I go back and I read them, I don't find too many things that I need to change later on. So I beat them to a pulp for 4 or 5 years before I release them. And I asked lots of people to weigh in, lots of editors to comment, and I had to read them over painfully. My first book, Sedentary Nation, I've read it, I think 110 times. So just imagine how many times. And it was not easy to do that. But now when I read it, it's not a chore. I'll take little pieces from it because I put some good observations and actionable steps in there that I think can help me and help other people.